Hi, this is Ray. Um, so there's an interesting type of an approach, to the situation. Um, it's just about how tough the opposition is, because there's a lot of. I mean, it's just unbelievable just to think about how many people graduate the university with some kind of a idea that they're going to get paid for their credential. They're going to get paid for doing sociology. They're going to get paid for working with people, and really that each and every science, that you really just need the same conversation for each and every type of a credential at the university, that it's a sorcerer. I really, all I could tell you is that I remember there was a sorcerer, that runs around. And, so to speak, it's like, is there an isolation room? Is there an isolation room? Is there one? Is there an isolation room? You know what I mean? And so it might be difficult to imagine that you could really, really get control of all that education, But it looks like education and religion are opposing, and I don't know, but no, it doesn't go from a panic attack into the land of the lost, like with the fighting dinosaurs, and so you might not know who that you were communicating with, whether it's educated people themselves or educated people who would be interested to stay on top, or people who are looking for some kind of an understanding of educated people, but there's no personal relationship where this professional gets into the buddy system with that guy, is what it boils down to, and if there is no personal relationship, if there is no buddy system, then this guy, he runs out of education. He doesn't know what to do, But actually, the answer to the question is that there is an answer to the question, I mean, I don't know if you can look at the popular music, but what is it? Love is blind, No, love is not blind. And that kind of a confusing conversation about personal relationships and the buddy system, it would really be religion. It would be religion. And how this kind of a, whatever it is that takes place, that it does not actually qualify as religion. And it doesn't qualify as religion, not according to our system. Those people still have rights, like at the institution, They still have rights, like even at the institution. And so we wouldn't want to treat them like they don't have rights. And we wouldn't want to put on the blindfolds and walk out into the streets like with the blindfolds on. You know what I mean? When it's, it's religion, that it's not personal relationships and the buddy system, it's religion, well, wouldn't it always be religion at some time for somebody? Wouldn't there be a word like from the dictionary? Like, wouldn't it be religion? Wouldn't you ever think that there was religion, or that it ever becomes a conversation in your life? And the homeless people are out on the streets, like in the middle of the story of the Good Samaritan. You see what I'm saying? And I don't know. I mean, in one sense, you might want to take time off if you didn't take the time to think that in some kind of a way, everybody's making darn sure that the Father's house will be a house of prayer, And there could be something about that if somebody wants to have a legitimate, a reasonable thinking process about whatever their job is. Like, is this because the Father's house is a house of prayer? That everything keeps going on, like, because there is Jesus Christ, and he is saying that, that my Father's house will be called a house of prayer. One thing we almost forgot. What did we forget, in the middle of all this? We forgot what we were talking about. What were we talking about? What is the conversation? That Jesus Christ said that his Father's house will be a house of prayer. Okay, now we just remembered what we were actually talking about. Like, we were in the middle of this conversation, and we just remembered what we were talking about. That his Father's house will be a house of prayer. I hope that's what we're talking about, Additionally, that when you need religion, well, I don't really know. I think that we should do the story of the Good Samaritan for the people out on the streets, Or do we just have everybody working as a professional just take the time to just realize and then just come up with the same, the same answer, the same question, like on their own, like, what does that have to do? What does that have to do? What does that have to do with anything? You know what I mean? That's what that is like about religion, And so I think that when you choose religion, that it should be religion. You know what I mean? When you decide to think about religion, when you decide to have religion or use religion, why wouldn't it just be religion? You know what I mean? There's like the story of the Good Samaritan. There's foxes have dens and birds have nests, but the Son of Man has no place to lay his head. There's religion. You know what I mean? And so there's a couple things that people might not want to miss out on, like with religion. You see what I mean? Because by the time this buddy system, by the time it becomes a religious conversation, you know what I mean? Well, what is religion? Is it religion? You know what I mean? Or is it education? Where is religion? You could actually go back to the university and study theology. I mean, you could actually take theology if you wanted to, for instance, with education. You could study theology, and just the religiousness of this conversation about the buddy system. It's just the only thing that I can tell you is it's dangerous. Everybody thinks we're talking about double talk or something, and I don't even know why. Maybe you don't even know why. But do you think that's going to qualify, or what do you think that's going to mean? You know what I mean? What could you talk about? Like, how could you say, like, the double talk thing, Where does it really fall in, like, with the Bible, like, and the Gospels, like, the double talk? Was this person is like, you're getting like this, well, by their fruits that you will know them. You know what I mean? By their fruits that you will know them, for instance. Who's double talk? You know what I mean? Who's double talk? It's somebody else. It's not my double talk. It's somebody else's double talk. Somebody's double talking me. You know what I mean? What's that got to do with me? You know what I mean? By their fruits that you will know them. For instance. And that really would be Jesus Christ, if by their fruits that you will know them. Well, that you could actually say that somebody was double talking me, could you not? Isn't that what that's all about? So there's just a couple observations. It's just that, there's a couple things to think about. That you do not have a workaholic for every career choice, which creates, some kind of a sophistication with that that I'm aware of, because it's a workaholic, and that there's a lot of things to think about, with human beings, and there's probably something better than just that, isn't there? Than just to say, like, that each and every psychiatric institution in the country is going to have its own history textbook. Why? You know? Why? What do you mean? That's not real? The changes that have taken place, they weren't real changes? We don't abhor that which is evil? I thought we do abhor that which is evil. So Jesus is Lord.